Smitches, we need to talk. So, it's nothing really bad. It's just for this episode, normally I film this Sunday before, that way I have the whole week to edit and also to make promos for the episode. So, these past couple weeks I've been pretty busy, so I haven't really had time to prepare for this episode. So, I thought it would be a good idea to make the script and to also record it on the same day, which didn't work at all. I made like half the script and I was like, oh, this should be fine content wise. And then I go to record. Now, before I recorded, I heard this noise in my house. It was either the creaking of a floorboard or the creaking of a door, and I was terrified. I was convinced someone was in my house. And normally I film downstairs. This location is a bit different. It's just a plain blank wall. I'm in my bedroom. We still have this same area set up with the smitching hour board and then also some crystals and stuff to get us in a spooky mood. But I had to relocate just because it's hard to get the house, or at least the first floor of the house, to myself. And though I film every other week, it's just a little bit of a burden to keep asking, oh, are you going to be home during this time? Can you leave? Having to ask them to leave like it's their house. They shouldn't have to leave because of me. So we've moved upstairs. Right now I am sweating. Anyway, getting back to the topic. So I heard this noise in the house. I was home alone. And I decided to take my pepper spray and walk around the house because I was convinced someone was there. Update, no one was there. And also, yes, you can shun me. I know it's a terrible idea to walk around a house or anywhere for that matter when you hear a noise. That's how everyone dies in the horror movies. But I had a moment of weakness. So I go to film the episode and I have my pepper spray with me just in case. Because if I'm gonna die, it's gonna be while I'm filming the smitching hour. So I have that with me and I'm going to film. And I film maybe 15 minutes of content. Hate it. Trash. Do it again. Don't like it. Do it again. Hate it even more. I don't know if it was just lack of preparation or feeling anxious, but I just wasn't liking anything I was putting out. And I decided, I have to stop at some point. I can't keep filming this and hating it. And it's not even that the content was bad, topic wise. It was just, I didn't like how I was saying things. I really just think it was me being hard on myself. So I decided to scrap it and just start another day. So now I'm starting this 2 days after that, and I do feel like I'm in a better place. I read over the script more. I was able to actually edit the whole script. Previously, I only edited half of it thinking it would be fine, but I was like, no, we're going to talk about everything I want to talk about. So it's complete this time, and I'm here. I'm ready. So, as I usually do, it's been 2 weeks, so I want to talk about my past 2 weeks with you guys. So, I went to my cousin's wedding, and it was a long time coming. Not him getting married, but the wedding itself. I feel like we've been waiting forever for the day to come, and it was an absolutely beautiful ceremony. And then I also had a couple dates these past 2 weeks. So, one of the dates, Kyle and I made this pizza pasta. And we made it without meat because I'm vegetarian. Crazy enough, it tastes exactly like the inside of a pizza roll. And I know, like, you don't think it's possible, but it is. And it's delicious, and I've been craving it ever since. And then also, he surprised me with crumble cookie. So there was a Rice Krispie one, there was a peach ring one, there was an M&M one, which I wish was how the chocolate chip cookie tasted. Because their chocolate chip cookie tastes like it's artificial chocolate, like clearly not Hershey's chocolate. So I wish it had that same kind of chocolate in it. Only bad thing with the M&M one was the dough needed some salt. but otherwise it was perfect. And then also there was this Reese's peanut butter cup one. Out of all of them, my favorite was the Rice Krispie. I haven't had Rice Krispies in forever, so to have a giant cookie like as big as my face, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but to have that as a Rice Krispie was chef's kiss, you know? And then also the other day, we got some subs and went on a hike. It wasn't a trail, it was in a neighborhood near a golf course and everything. And we kind of just explored the wilderness. And normally I'm not the person to do that, but it was still nice just hanging out. And also, there was this grass we walked through that was up to probably mid calf. And I don't know, it just reminded me of like fairy grass or something. And the sun peeking through the trees was very nice. I did have a minor panic attack just because I don't like things touching me and also the idea of all the bugs. But besides that, great experience. 10 out of 10. And then what else did I do? Oh, I had a SpongeBob themed barbecue. Very exciting. I had Krabby Patties, Pretty Patties, jellyfish jelly, crusty dogs, crusty fries, fried oyster skins, which weren't oysters, they were onion rings, but the name I needed. So I had that. Everyone seemed to have a great time. I decided to do water balloons because it was probably 90 something degrees out, probably almost 100. And I thought it was kind of just going to be like an egg toss sort of thing, but with balloons. My friends, turns out they're maniacs. Insanity. So we did it as the sun was going down, which is a bad idea. I should have done it earlier, but we were talking and eating, so there wasn't really any good time to start it. But it got so bad, not only the water balloons were being thrown, they were throwing cups of water at each other from the cup pong table. I was surprised no one grabbed the hose at this point. It was insane. Would I do it again though? Yes, everyone seemed to have a great time, and I do want to make this a yearly thing, kind of to kick off the summer and do a different theme each year. Maybe one year we'll do Disney or specific shows like Hannah Montana or Wizards of Waverly Place. And it was just cute also seeing everyone dress up. My friend dressed up as No Name Jellyfish. One of my friends was Larry the Lobster. My sister dressed up as Mr. Krabs pinching a penny, but she looked more like Plankton because she was wearing green, so that's what she settled on. I was, of course, SpongeBob. Kyle was Patrick. And I think those were the only couple of people that dressed up because some people were coming from work and also some people just didn't have outfits that they could create for this. But still, I wasn't even expecting anyone to dress up. So the fact that they did, I was like, you're real ones. Who would have thought? And then I redid my nails, guys. The one's already chipping, actually. It's hard for me to describe the middle finger and pointer finger because it's just a bunch of lines of different colors and then dots. For my other fingers, my pinky's this light green, my ring finger is this light blue, and my thumb is this light pink. And it's funny because this was the nail design I gave my sister to try. I was like, oh, I think this would be cute for you to do. I don't think she did it, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. And originally, the middle finger and the pointer finger design is supposed to be on all fingers, but I don't have time for that. And also, I only have my right hand that's dominant, so using my left hand on my right hand takes a lot. It's so hard. So there was no way I was gonna do all my fingers with this design. So we got two. And lastly, I saw the Elvis movie. I don't know why I just drum rolled. I saw the Elvis movie. Absolutely incredible. Tom Hanks, I completely forgot that he was in it. That's how good he was. I was like, who's he playing again? And literally, he's one of the main guys. And then Austin Butler's portrayal as Elvis, and even look wise, voice wise, I was absolutely blown away. But another thing I was blown away by, who was gonna tell me that Billy Hargrove from Stranger Things was in Elvis? Who was gonna tell me? I'll wait. I'm not gonna wait that long. But seriously, I had no idea. So his face comes on, and I'm like, who? That guy looks so familiar. And they keep doing these like close ups, and it hit me. I was like, I know that man. I know that face. And I was absolutely obsessed. I was like, you got Austin Butler, you got, I think his name is Dacre Montgomery. I don't know if that's how you say his first name, but I know that's his last name. And Tom Hanks, the Holy Trinity. I also snuck in Starbucks to the theater. I usually get an iced peach green tea lemonade, grande, of course. And I went and got it, but they didn't have peach, which broke me a little bit because you can't just have green tea lemonade because it's not sweet enough. So they gave me the option of mango or strawberry. I chose mango. Not exactly the same, but it was still pretty good. But I wouldn't order it again unless I had no other option. But it's a perfect drink for a summer day. I wanted to try their new drink. It's I think called the Paradise drink. It has pineapple and passion fruit in it, but they were out of that as well. So you win some, you lose some. But that's all I have. That's been my weeks. I hope you all have had a great 2 weeks while I've been away. And now I want to get into the topic of this episode. So let me fully introduce the show, which I never do in a timely fashion. Hey everyone, welcome to the Smidging Hour. It is Alyssa. And today we are talking about shifting. Alyssa, Smidge, what is shifting? How does it work? Does it even work? What do you mean shifting? Where am I shifting to? Am I working a shift? Guys, please, no more questions. This is so embarrassing. I'm gonna stop. Okay. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about shifting. And to begin, if you haven't heard it, maybe you should go to TikTok. The reason I say to check TikTok is because you may have heard of something, I believe like a year or two ago now, probably a year. Draco talk. I know. I just unlocked a core memory. So, Draco talk, a lot of people were doing imagines, kind of like Wattpad fan fictions, where it's like POVs of different scenes with the characters, short little videos. But people were also doing a lot of videos that were skits in which they had shifted to this Harry Potter world and were interacting with these characters. And more recently, because as I've said, I've probably unlocked a core memory, that's because this is a little older. I haven't really seen any recently regarding Draco Talk, but I've seen a lot regarding Stranger Things now that the new season has come out. So that's something you may be a little more familiar with. Otherwise, I haven't really seen too many. And it could just be my For You page. For some reason, they're like, she's obsessed with Stranger Things. But that's a story for another time, okay? But basically, what it is, it revolves around the multiverse theory. So if you watched Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you probably have an idea of the multiverse. Now, this is in which we perform different rituals or methods to guide our consciousness into a DR, which is a desired reality. And this can be fictional or it can be non-fictional. Now, this may sound familiar to lucid dreaming, which if you want, we could get into more in depth in another episode. But unlike that, this can also be performed while in an awakened state of mind. And some use it as an escape because it does provide a lot of positive mood boosting benefits. So it's a great stress reliever, it brings joy to a lot of people. And of course, every experience is different per person, but this is what they found to be most common when people do shift. So, does it really work? Now, I hate to break it to you, you're probably not actually in another world. It's more of our mind. Our mind is so advanced that we are able to run wild with our thoughts and make something like this feel as real as possible. So, though you may not actually be there, your mind is able to convince you that you are. Again, going back to it being different for everyone, in that instance, I want to mention that not everyone may be able to shift, or not everyone may be able to shift their first time. Like, it does take a lot of practice. Some people find they have chakra blockages, and it kind of reminds me like if you go to a hypnotist. For this, you have to really be in a calm and willing state of mind. And when you go to a hypnotist, there's some people who aren't able to give up that control. And if you aren't able to do that with shifting, then you're not going to shift. So it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of willingness to do this. So I want to stress the importance of scripting when it comes to shifting. So this is important because it's going to outline everything that does happen in your DR. And this isn't something you have to do, but I feel as though it can be the most effective way, just because you are creating this desired reality for you to a T. You don't have to worry about how anything's going to play out because you know how it's going to play out. The only thing is that if you want it to be like, oh, what would actually happen if I was there without me being in control? Like, would this guy fall in love with me? Would I be friends with this person? Then I could see not scripting it, or at least scripting it, but scripting it very loosely. And there are templates online that you can follow. They have little guides for different worlds, or just different points you should highlight, I guess you could say. So you could go into specifics of like what you look like. You could change your hair, your clothes, your eyes, or you could go into kind of basics like relationships, like, oh, you're dating this person, you're friends with this person, where you live. You could change the storyline. So if you're in Harry Potter and you don't want to be fighting in any wizarding war, cross it out. It never existed. There's stuff like that you could do, because again, it's going to be how you want it to be. So I wanted to stress this because a lot of questions that people do have, all the answers lead to scripting. And this includes, as I said, is it exactly how you want it to be? Yes, because you scripted it that way. Will you feel out of place? Well, no, because you have it scripted that way. Some other questions include how you will know you shifted. There could be like a change in atmosphere, so maybe noise, temperature, but you could also script something if you want to do that. That gives you an indication, which could be opening your eyes, hearing something, seeing something, talking to someone that begins your DR. So another question is, are you in your DR forever? Now, I'm not completely sure how this works. You can script a safe word or a process that you do to leave. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz, you click your heels 3 times, say there's no place like home. If you don't script a safe word, I'm not really sure how to leave, but I know you can leave anytime you want. I'm not sure if it's something where when your script ends, that's when you can leave your DR, or when you wake up, that's when you leave it, or I don't know, you're just able to kind of just snap out of it, like tell yourself in it, wake up. I, on my own, did try to shift at one point when this was first a big thing with like Draco Talk. And I remember putting sounds on that I found on YouTube of like a common room in Harry Potter. And I didn't script anything. And I just tried to meditate. It obviously didn't do anything for me, just because I was very uneducated about it and also unprepared for it. So I kind of just fell asleep. And I haven't tried it since. I don't know if I would. Maybe if I had time, I would try it again, but I really haven't had the desire to. And then going back to some other questions, some people ask if it will feel real, whether it is fictional or not. It's going to feel real because you're entering their world. So when you go into there, they don't know that they may be in a movie or a television show. That's their reality. Unless you're maybe scripting something that says, oh, I'm going into Harry Potter, but it's them filming Harry Potter or something like that, and they have lives out of the movie. Something like that, maybe. And then also what happens to you in your current reality. So, a lot of people like to envision that there is some sort of clone taking over for them while they're away. That way, it's like they're still there and whatever responsibilities they have are still being fulfilled, and they don't really have to worry about what's going on. And then lastly, people wonder what it feels like when you're shifting. And this is going to be different per person, per method, but people believe that if you're asleep, you may not realize you shifted, unlike being awake and more consciously aware of it just because you're more in that meditative state. So, some tips in order to shift. A big one is to try and not overcomplicate it and focus on your main goal. And also, a big thing is to manifest that you are there rather than trying to get there. So, a lot of affirmations you want to use is I am, which you will see once I go through the methods because there's so many. And I'm definitely not going to get through all of them. But there's a lot of common themes within these methods or common rituals that you perform. And another tip is to prepare yourself. Make sure you didn't leave any unfinished business. So if you're hungry, make sure that you're making your needs met. So you're eating, you're drinking, maybe going to the bathroom. Maybe you have a lot on your mind, like making sure you did your homework, you cleaned your room, whatever you had on your mind is now wiped clean because you don't want these thoughts going on while you're trying to either sleep or to put yourself in that trance. And then also work on meditation, which is like putting yourself in that trance. It's not easy to meditate. I know every time on the podcast, everyone tells me I should meditate. I don't know if I could just because I feel like I would fall asleep or I would get bored of it, but again, it comes with practice. If I tried to, I probably could begin to meditate. And also, another tip is to customize the shifting for you. So, when I go through these methods, of course, you could try them, see what suits you, but also don't feel like you have to do exactly what these methods do. You could pull things from certain methods and combine it into your own. Now, going into the methods, so if you haven't shifted, you could try to do so, or if you have shifted, then maybe you could find a new method you want to try. So, first there is the Raven method. And with this, you're lying down in a sort of starfish position. Obviously, you want to be relaxed, you want to be calm. And as I said, affirmations are important. So, you want to use affirmations to help you believe that it is even possible to shift, which, as I said, it's kind of like manifesting. You want to say, I am. Now, for this method, you want to count down from 0 to 100 and not like Drake, all right? We're not going straight to 100 from 0. You're taking your time. And affirmations are going to go between each of these counts. And if you need help calming down, you could play some background noise. As I was saying, when I tried, I played noises from the common room of a Harry Potter house. But you could do a variety of things. I mean, if you're trying to shift to Stranger Things, maybe you could do the sound of the ticking clock. I don't know, maybe don't do that. That's probably going to scar you, but it's an idea if that's what you want. Some people are into horror, all right? I'm not. That's Molly's territory. But again, if you need that background noise, you could do that kind of shifting tracks, or you could use binaural beats. And a lot of these you could just find on YouTube. Probably you could find on SoundCloud. And as you're doing this, you want to visualize yourself getting closer to your desired reality. And then as you fall asleep, when you hypothetically open your eyes, you will be there. And then, of course, if it doesn't work the first time, you just retry, recount, and at some point it's going to work, or maybe this method isn't for you and you want to try something else. Another method is the pillow method, which relies heavily on a script. And really, for this, you write out the script, can reread it, maybe take some notes, put it under your bed. Not actual notes, like mental notes, just so you know. Put it under your pillow before you sleep and maybe play some music and go to sleep like normal. Now, this reminds me of the time I did a new moon ritual spell because I Googled something. I was like, I don't know how to do spells, and Molly told me I should do a spell, so I told her I would for our smidges. So I did the spell, I lit a candle, I wrote down a bunch of things that I was manifesting, I put it under the candle, put some essential oils in the candle, let it burn, and then I kind of just sat there and watched it for a little bit. Very, very interesting. Very interesting time. I got to think about a lot. But after it, I took what I wrote, blew out the candle, obviously, because we don't want a fire, put it under my pillow, and went to sleep that night. So it kind of reminds me of this. I didn't have any dreams that night, but with this, that's what you're attempting to do. And then there's another one called the heartbeat method, in which you go to sleep with the sound of a beating heart. And you want to visualize it being the heart of the person maybe you're closest with in your desired reality, or maybe just the person you're trying to connect to, be it your desired self in your reality. And this will end up leading you to your desired reality because they're going to be the ones to guide you. There's also the Julia method. I don't know where some of these get their names. Like, who is Julia? I would like to know. But anyway, this uses binaural beats as well, and it's in that starfish position, kind of like that raven method. And for this, it's mainly manifesting in those affirmations. So you want to say, I am meeting, blah, blah, blah. I am in my DR, blah, blah, blah. Moving on to the ADHD method. For this, you're going to use 8D soundtracks, and you're going to use those I am affirmations again. And you want to sync your breath to whatever audio that you were playing. While doing this, you're going to count from 1 to 5, and between each count, you're going to do an affirmation and just keep repeating this. And once you feel yourself about to shift or in the process of shifting, you are going to visualize yourself in the DR. There is also the intent method, and for this, you're going to do a thought or spoken I intend. And the best thing for this is the sooner you fall asleep, you have the less time to doubt it. So people find it is best to do in a drowsy state. So kind of like if you're right about to fall asleep, before you do, you say, I intend to be in my DR. I intend to be in Hogwarts. Whatever it is, you know. So next there is the Estelle method, and for this you want to imagine yourself dancing with an important person from your DR, and you really want to feel the scene. So a good way to do this is to play music. So if you are meditating and in that state, you could have the music of the song you're dancing to as you're imagining this. And when it is over, they will tell you that it's time to go, so they will open a door. And when you fall through it, you affirm that you are in your desired reality. And when you open your eyes, hypothetically, you are in your DR. Not hypothetically in your DR, I mean like opening your eyes, hypothetically. There's also the mirror method, and for this, you're in a dark room alone with a mirror that's not too far away from you. And there's like a spotlight on you as you are moving towards the mirror, looking directly at your desired self in it. Now, when you go to touch it, you both become one and you are opened to your DR, which I think is pretty interesting. I think it's interesting, but I also feel like it's kind of horror-ish, you know? If I performed this method, I would probably freak out and feel like I'm about to be killed in a horror movie. Like, this is some Freddy Krueger stuff, you know, but to each their own. There's also the falling method, which you move toward a door, affirming that you are in your DR, and when it opens, you just let yourself kind of free fall down it. And it's apparently a long fall. And while you're in this long fall, you just want to keep affirming. And when you meet the end, there's going to be another door that opens you to your DR. Now, I don't know, it's just so interesting to me that there's all these methods because I guess it's really just what you want to think of when you're trying to transition into your DR. Like, you could do something so simple, or you could be like, no, I want to see my desired self in a mirror, or I want to fall down a rabbit hole, which you can do. There's an Alice in Wonderland method, which I'm not going to get into because then I'd have to go into the Hogwarts method, the Stranger Things method, which is called the 11 method. Like, there's just so many, you know? Another one is the piano method. And for this one, you imagine yourself in a hall with a grand piano or keyboard piano, whatever you want it to be. And you want to, again, try to utilize all your senses, really feel the scene. There's going to be a spotlight on you, kind of like during the mirror method. And as you're walking toward it, there's going to be people around you, watching you, talking around the room, chattering. And of course, while doing this, you don't want to lose focus. So if you do, just keep affirming. You can just keep affirming, I intend, I am, whatever key phrases you want to begin with. And as you play, there is a silence. And then when you're done, everyone applauds you because you're a great musician. You know exactly what you were doing. And you rise, you go toward the door, knowing and affirming that it is time to leave and you are going to go into your DR. Someone is going to welcome you back, and you are going to fall asleep and wake up in your DR. There's also a train method, which is in which you're performing deep breaths and you close your eyes, imagining yourself on a train going towards your final stop, which is your DR. And you want to maintain positive thought, and you want to visualize and affirm that you will be at the stop. Then when you open your eyes, you should feel like you have shifted or are about to shift, and your train should be stopped in your DR. So I feel like this would be a good one if you want to go to Hogwarts or something, like imagine yourself on the Hogwarts Express. There's another one called the eye method, and for this you lie down closing your eyes and you count to 100, kind of like the Raven method. And you want to keep it slow so you are asleep before you finish. And of course, you're going to affirm, and after a certain time, you're going to begin rolling your eyes. And if it hurts, don't do this, all right? You can strain your eyes by doing this. So while you're doing this, when you open your eyes in your sleep, you should be in your DR. Lastly, I wanted to go over the elevator method, and this method is also kind of horror-ish to me, similar to that of the mirror method. So for this, you're in an elevator. Very simple. You're going up to the floor that's going to be your DR, and you can feel the energy getting higher. You really feel all the senses. And when you reach that floor, you're going to find your DR self sleeping on a bed. And that's where I find that it's creepy. I don't know, maybe it's just I don't want to see myself because I'm like, no, I'm right here. What is this clone of me here? This is it's a little too much for me. And they're just sleeping. So we have like Sleeping Beauty over here. I'd get scared that she's just gonna open her eyes. Like, have you ever been to a funeral and it's open casket? They look like they're gonna open their eyes at any second. And I'm gonna flip out if they do. So that's why I wouldn't do this one, and I find it very horror-ish. And I mean, if you have done this or the mirror method, let me know. Is it creepy? Or I don't know, who knows? Maybe the room is like bright pink, you know, there's floral designs everywhere, there's music going, like it's maybe a rave in there, maybe a party, who knows? I'm just envisioning like all black walls, a single spotlight on the body, blood. Not for me, not for me. But when you get to the bed and when you get to your desired self, you're going to infuse your consciousness together. And when you wake up, you will have shifted into that desired self and into your DR. And as I said, there's many, many more methods that I could get into, but that would take me forever. If you do want to research more, there is the 11 method, Hogwarts method, Alice in Wonderland. Again, these are very customizable. You could intermatch different techniques from each method, or if you want, you could just create your own. And for this, I did use quite a few articles, so rather than just list them off, I'm just going to leave them in the description like I always do for you to check out, because they also, I believe, have links to other sources that go more in depth and can help you on your shifting journey a little more. So before we close out the show, because that is all I have for you guys today, we are going to get into our nebula check. For this week, the focus is perspectives. Love is 60%, career is 70%, and health is 50%. My standout days are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you can gain a new perspective on your inner experiences this week as the new moon opens up your awareness of the subconscious mind. Okay, I would just like to say I find it very weird that we're talking about shifting and it's talking about like your subconscious mind. Maybe I should try shifting again. Let me know if I should. Maybe this is the best time for me to, you know? And going back to my horoscope to see what else may be relevant, this helps you learn new things about yourself and how to process some emotions. Then later in the week on Thursday, the moon enters your sign, bringing you into a state of balance and wellness. I sure hope so. I need a little break. I need some wellness. I need some balance. And for love this week, you can be especially flirtatious and passionate about your connections. You can feel that there are decisions to be made with a love interest, and you can set out to have some important discussions with each other about your relationship. The moon in our sign is Trin Venus on Friday, which will be an especially good day for these interactions. Duly noted, Friday, have conversations. And wellness matters this week can focus on physical health as well as fitness. You can feel a greater desire to move your body and get out into nature. In addition, you can be more invested in taking action on health-related matter. This is also relevant because I just went to a doctor's appointment and I also have another doctor's appointment coming up. So, yeah, it is very big on wellness. And fitness wise, since I've been so busy, I haven't been able to work out as much as I usually do. So, this week is going to be jam packed with fitness and working out. So, oh my God. I don't think I've ever read my horoscope and it's been this accurate. And then let's see. By Saturday, as Mercury aligns with Saturn, you are ready to make some structured plans with friends. Communication will be an important factor in how things go. Therefore, ensure you are working with others and paying attention to details when setting up get-togethers. Which is funny because in July, my boyfriend is going to be going to Aruba for a little over a week. So I'm in the process of actually trying to make plans during that week because normally I'd be with him, and since I won't have him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I started planning a couple things. I'm gonna go to a family lunch one weekend, and then I planned like a 3-day trip to Myrtle Beach, and I also might do kickboxing. So we got a couple of things lined up, but I do plan on planning more things just because these are things that are more just like maybe my sisters or cousins and me. I want to do some more things with my friends. But that is all I have for you, Smitches, today. I want to thank you guys for listening. And if you could, please subscribe and like to us on YouTube, as well as follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if there's even an option to, if you could like us or give us ratings. Besides that, for my personal, it's Alyssa Grace _X on Instagram. Truly, again, guys, it's been one heck of a 2 weeks. So thank you again for the support, and I'll see you smidges in 2 weeks. Bye!